Good afternoon, everybody. It is Choppadon coming at you with another episode of Chop Talk brought to you by DFSArmy.com, your one-stop shop for all things DFS. Hit that comment section, click that link, use the code CHOP, C-H-O-P, and trigger that 10% off savings before prices go up, because I'm telling you what, the stuff that we're talking about today inside the Army is amazing. Baseball is kicking full gear. We're driving the conversation deeper and deeper and deeper, and the NFL stuff is just around the corner. And some of the correlation charts that I'm seeing, some of the deep dives into research that I'm seeing, some of the just the numbers and the sheer data that we've taken the next leap as a content source and resource for your research. It's amazing what is getting ready to happen. And there were a couple of deals that were signed today behind the scenes that inked a couple of neat stat ideas that you won't see anywhere else in the industry. So you're going to have to become a VIP or you're going to get left in the dust. I promise you that. Anyway, let's dive into baseball. Let's take a look at today, run through the process as quickly as we can. It's a huge late slate. I didn't see any weather issues, maybe a slight chance of rain in Chicago, but you know what? Big whoopee deal. It was like a 38% chance, and that's not going to even scare me off of arms. Not that I'd be using any of the arms in that game, but I'm certainly not afraid of the bats. When I'm going to scroll over here, you know that we get sorted out by DFSA grade as a default, but I like to shift automatically to descending order on K percentage. Bring my strikeout pitchers to the top, take a look at who the names are, look for any price gaps. Rich Hill, Carrasco, Greinke, Pivetta, Haney, don't know about Glasnow, Pomeranz, no. Tyon in Colorado, doubt it. Chase Anderson, maybe. Felix Stroman, I look at Manaya here and I see a price gap. That's interesting. Not really a strikeout pitcher. I definitely need some of the strikeout potential to do so. Miles Michaelis has been a machine lately, but he's kind of backed off of his strikeout numbers. He's not really. You need strikeout upside in this game to really do some damage because strikeouts also help erase some of the runs allowed. You end up with a guy like Cole Hamels last night who threw 6 innings, only allowed 1 run, but only got 2 strikeouts, and you only end up with 21 points. You need the quality start and you need the win to get that extra 10 to get to 31 points to even have a shot at hitting value at that. And that, man, that's tough. Make one more mistake, give up another long ball or something like that, cost himself the decision, and it's over. He's only sitting on about 23, 24 points, and that is not going to absolutely kill you, but it is not going to help. You need guys with the upside to 40, 50, 60 points. That's what you're looking for if you can find it. Today, we see that in some of the strikeout upside. We look at these K scores in some of these guys, and, nobody was too terribly expensive. Were they 9,800, 10,6, 10,2? I'd like to stay down here in the eights if I can. And I'm really going to be intrigued by Chase Anderson. But when I'm looking at these numbers, I won't be afraid to pay up to 10-2 or 10-6 or something like that if I absolutely have to. It's a big enough slate, I can definitely get the value on it. So if the K-score dictates, and that's what we're looking at, that's what we're going to end up having to do. Looking at Rich Hill, $9,800, a minus 120 out of Vegas. Haven't shown you the Vegas numbers yet. Scroll all the way over to the right. And we're looking at a couple of, minus 120, minus 240. Minus 240 is huge for Carrasco. Minus 160, 190, 160, not bad. I said we weren't going to deal with Glasnow all that much. 180 for Chase Anderson. 185 down here for Sabathia, but I'm not probably running some Sabathia. So you've got some favorites in there that you can play with that are going to check a couple of those boxes for you. And then when we focus again back here on K-score, what we're looking at is we're adding up the K column, adding up the K versus hand column, and taking out the decimal point. I see Rich Hill at a 516, which is great. I don't like his 66 rating. I see Carrasco minus 240 out of Vegas, a 490 K-score, which is a little bit lower than you would think out of a Carrasco, but a 92 DFSA grade helps us, with our confidence a little bit there. Greinke minus 160 with a 523 K-score and a 98 rating against Phillies in a good spot. Nick Pivetta, 8,500. He's a plus 145 dog out of Vegas. He's a 504 K-score. So the K-scores there don't count on the win. You're taking on Arizona in Arizona. Don't know that that's exactly a hitter-friendly, pitcher-friendly park that we want to be attacking pitchers or attacking bats with the pitcher. A lot of P's in that sentence. Andrew Haney, 8,900, minus 190, 445 K score. Kind of takes a hit there. 87 ratings, not bad. Detroit does not scare me as an offense. And then Chase Anderson rounding out the bottom of the dirt. Cheap guys. He might be popular for Coors guys again. 7,600, minus 185 is very solid. A 474 K score for 7,600 is pretty doggone good. And the 70 DFSA grade, not bad either, taking on San Diego, who we know can strike out with the best of them. So there's potential there. That might be a guy with a lot of upside tonight. Whether or not he tests that ceiling, I guess will remain to be seen. If you want a dude for cash games, you're probably looking at a Carrasco. You're probably looking. I don't know if I trust Greinke quite for cash. Um, you know what though? When you're playing hybrid type lineups and stuff, I'm not too worried about taking. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. I'm not too worried about taking any of those guys that I mentioned. Chase Anderson would probably be my preferred play because he's got a near 500 K score and a minus 185 favorite for dirt cheap, $3,000 underneath everybody else. I don't mind Greinke. I'd caution Pivetta and Haney, Carrasco and Hill. I don't even mind Rich Hill. So, I mean, you're really down to two or three pitchers just like that. It doesn't take that long. When we sort the DFSA grade again by ascending order to find out who the bad pitchers are, we scroll over here and we're looking at, I keep getting ahead of myself. We've got to scroll down here to about the 40 barrier. It's about where I cut myself off. If you want to go down to 50, that's fine. But look, this is a lot of offenses to worry about. And we've got quite a few bad pitchers on the mound tonight. So why stack against this guy down here whose pitcher's, 2-3 times as good in a matchup as this guy who's really, really bad? Just play the smart play. So if I come down here to about Pomeranz or Stroman, Stroman taking on Boston's not an easy matchup. Toronto's in a great matchup with Pomeranz, and any of these other guys are playable. Chicago, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, New York, Cleveland, Seattle, LA. I don't know why. Is Colorado playable? Sure. Taillon should be able to control them a little bit, but it is in Coors. So, I mean, you can make arguments that Pivetta and Taillon can blow up, and Felix Hernandez isn't all that good. But the thing is, these guys are just a little bit more questionable for your bats than these softer pitchers up here. So I'm going to stay focused up here tonight as much as I can. Use these other guys on later slates if they pop up into the radar, into the mix on the Express or the after hours or the late night. A couple of those ideas will help you diversify your lineups and help you basically back into a pretty good lineup. A lot of times we go in with the best thoughts in our heads, and then it ends up backfiring on us, and then we go in with another slate that we were just throwing a dart at, and we kind of back into a winning lineup. Why? Because it was a completely different construction process, because we didn't have the options that we had on the other slate. When I'm looking for double red, I'm going to come over here, take the WOBA, sort by descending, and now I'm looking for guys. These are the names I'm looking for. The red column all the way down here to about the 330 barrier is about what I'm looking at. So anything down in this area with a 330 and above. So maybe all the way down here to Pomeranz. I don't know that I'd go quite as far down here to Felix Hernandez, although you can certainly make a case for it. And if you're a specialist that doesn't mind looking at the numbers, you can take lefties against these guys. If you wanted to just stick with left-handed bats, but again, what I try to tell you is you need lefties and righties both hitting to really flip those lineups over. Nice little one-offs maybe down in this area, but as we scroll up, we start seeing names like Lopez, even a little bit of Cobb, certainly Glass now, Vargas for sure, double red. These guys handle lefties okay, but don't handle righties, so they're a little bit off. You could look at a Pivetta or a Mejia. And then, of course, your top two, Turner and Colon. These are guys you need to be stacking against. So you scroll back over here and you look who their opponents are and match them up. Come all the way back over here for the third area and go to opponents' runs and sort descending. And now you're looking at all these opponent runs down here to about, 4.9, 4.9, whatever. You want to stay kind of in the top quarter, top third of offenses. Why are we messing with any of these guys? If I see any of these guys stacked in lineups, you're a moron. It's just not going to happen. So what I'm looking for now is these bigger things. When the slate presents itself with great, good, and bad options, why are you doing anything but going with the great options? You're getting fancy. Now, if you're using it in giant GPPs, that's one thing. But if you're generally using it in winnable type contests that can be won frequently, 1,000-man tournaments and stuff, you don't need it. You're going to be unique. Trust me, you're going to be unique. You start tracking how many times you tie somebody else's score, and then when you do see a tie score, and I mean late in the slate, not right out of the gate when you've only got 3.5 points, but late in the slate when you're at 154 points or something, go see how many people are tied with you. If you find one, click his lineup. It's going to be different than yours. It just happened to score the same number of points. And all you need is a unique lineup to win anything in this game. So when I scroll, leverage is nice for ownership, but unique is what really matters because you don't want to be splitting those prizes. So anywhere from about here and on up, you're looking at these offenses again. So what I've done is I've created 3 categories. The opponents for high implied run totals, the opponents that are facing the double red pitchers, and then of course the DFSA grade that shows you who the poor pitchers are. I put those 3 things together. That's 1-star, 2-star, 3-star offenses. And you need to write these down because we're going into the trends tab and we're going to start lighting these guys up. I have 3-star offenses, Seattle and Cleveland. 2-star offenses, New York, Cincinnati, Chicago Cubs, Toronto, Boston, and LA. Now there are others, Baltimore, Milwaukee, Texas, St. Louis, Arizona. Great, 1-star offenses. That doesn't mean they're bad offenses because at least they got a star. You know, you didn't hear me mention Kansas City, did you? You didn't hear me mention Detroit, did you? The reason why is those are no-star offenses, and those should not be in your player pool tonight. You know, maybe a few of the 1-stars, whatever, but you're generally focused on 3-star and 2-star offenses. Why not take the guys that are checking all the boxes? Play the odds, man. This game is volatile enough that you need to play the odds and hope the odds kind of come through. Otherwise, you're just preying on getting lucky. And if that's the case, I've got a scratch-off ticket vending machine at the grocery store that you can go put your $20 into and hopefully get a free ticket or something like that. If you don't think it's smart to play that and you think that that's all luck, that's exactly what you're doing when you start taking subpar matchups and hoping to get lucky tonight. Same damn thing. Let's exploit the skill that this game does offer. It may not be offering a lot, but let's exploit it and let's play it out over the long run, and let's hope at the end of the year we're counting more money than we spent. When I look at these offenses, I told you Seattle. I've already sorted my L7 Wobas by 350 and above. There's your playables right there. You might look at a Kyle Seager who was a 272 2 weeks ago, and now he's a 442. He's been blazing hot, and he hasn't done shit for me in the last 4 or 5 days, so he kind of upsets me. I don't know how he's holding on to that number. But either way, these are your hotter bats in the offense. Cruz, Seager, Gamble, Vincent, maybe. Now, when I scroll over here and I look at Cleveland, they're my other 3-star offense tonight. Ramirez, Lindor, Geyer, Gomez if he plays, Perez, Leonis Martin, and Greg Allen if he plays. You know, if you see Greg Allen slide into the lineup, take a shot on him. Dude's hitting a 440 WOBA, and he's going to be dirt-ass cheap. That's a good thing. You can also look overall at the matchups and see that they're priced up. DraftKings thinks that Cleveland's in a great spot. Hello. That tells us we're on the right track. New York Yankees, Stanton, Gregorius, and that's changed. Throw some Hicks, throw some Walker in there. Guys are fine. When I look at the next offense, Cincinnati, I'm looking at Suarez, Votto, Casali, Williams, Irvin. Irvin's getting at bats at a 514. Have you ever heard the name before? Neither has anybody else, but he should be in your outfield tonight. I'm not going to call a shot with the guy and say he's going to hit a bomb, but I'm going to tell you for 2,300 and a 514 WOBA over the last 7 days. Hello. I'll be looking square at him. I may not even run a stack, but he'd be a dirt cheap one-off if I want to run a Carlos Carrasco. I could mini stack him with Suarez and be in a great spot. These are the kinds of decisions that you get to make on your own. I'm just pointing the stuff out to you. I'm just cutting your player pool in half or down even more than that. Rizzo, Schwarber, Zobrist, Contreras, Lastea if he starts, Baez, Hayward, Bode if he starts. These are the guys that you're looking at in the Chicago Cubs offense, and boy did they let us down last night. I was all over these turds, and they did not help me at all. Neither did Seattle. So there's a 3-star and a 2-star offense you need to be a little cautious about. But you know what? Everybody else is scared too. Here's the biggest tip I could possibly give you. The greatest DFS adage I've ever heard before in my life. When the competition gets fearful, you should get greedy. And when your competition gets greedy, you should be fearful. That was beautiful. I don't even remember where I heard it. I'd love to give credit to the guy that said it, but it was unbelievable because what it's telling me is exactly right. Go against the grain a little bit. When everybody else is saying, oh, Randall Grichuk is the bomb, he's the best thing, boom, fade him. Everybody chases numbers. back in my days of learning about, stock markets and investing a little bit, and I was never a professional in the industry, but I'm a graph nerd and did a lot of studying. And everything that I used to read when my mom did work in the industry when I was a teenager was just, oh my God, people chase the hot hand. Idiots, lemmings that love to just run right off the cliff. Whoa, who fell off the cliff? Everybody. People don't think for themselves. Those of us that think for ourselves are in a better position because we can either position ourselves ahead of the curve or get the hell out of the way. When the stampede hits, don't be in the middle of it somewhere. You're not a wildebeest trying to cross the Serengeti, man. What you need to be doing is getting away from the guys that everybody's chasing, unless it makes sense to continue chasing them. If the guy's hitting a 583 WOBA over 7, chase him. He's still hot. The herd may be stupid, but the herd is still making the right decision. Just make the right decisions. But when the herd is chasing a bad player, somebody who had, they're going to want to flock to the guy, Steve Pearce, who hit 3 home runs. And guess what? He hit one the next night. But has he done much since? Maybe not. I haven't paid that much attention because Boston hasn't been tripping my trigger. I'm not afraid to run away from that. He's not going to hit 3 more tomorrow. I'm not saying he's going to dud, but he's not going to hit 3 more. All I'm trying to do is find the best matchups of the day. I forget about yesterday. It's gone. It's over. It's done. Like I told you yesterday, when you roll the dice out of the cup and you roll a 2 and you roll a 2 and you roll a 2 and you roll a 2, what are the odds that the next dice is going to be a 2? Nobody in their world would bet on it being a 2, but if you give me better than 1 to 6 odds on it, I'm betting on the 2. Why? Because its odds are 1 in 6 every damn time you roll the dice. Same thing in DFS. It's all these principles. Once you get them in your head, you can see how they relate to every single slate. Grichuk, Travis, Diaz, and Martin. Those are your hot Toronto bats. Go over to old Dirty Water here in Boston. Hashtag Dirty Water. Martinez, Betts, and Pierce. Of course Pierce is on the list. My God. He's still playable. But in tournaments you might fade him because everybody else is loving him. And now we'll round off with the Angels. Trout, Ohtani, if he plays. I doubt he's going to play. Ohtani and Calhoun and Presencio. Let guys chase Upton. Let guys chase that Simmons dong. Guess what happens? He needs to hit this list. Needs to hit that list. Once he hits the list, I'll be on him. So I'm going to use those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 offenses tonight, and I'm going to run several different lineups, mixing and matching. Seattle, New York, Cincinnati, Toronto, Toronto, Cleveland, New York, Boston, whatever I can run. Just mix and match and put them together and hope to hit the right combo. Because if you think you can run one single lineup out there tonight and hit it consistently, you're out of your damn mind. You're going to ride really long losing streaks. You might get lucky one night, and that's fine. But I would rather target the bats that I see. Seattle, Cleveland, New York, Cincinnati, Chicago. Those bats are in great spots. And I'd rather sprinkle 3, 4, 5, 6 different lineups through those offenses. And I've got a better chance at one of them connecting well. That's all I'm trying to do. And that's the kind of coaching I deliver inside DFSArmy.com. If that's the kind of coaching that you like, stuff that you want to hear about smart money management, and you want to hear about fundamentally sound lineup construction and things like that, you need to become a VIP. You need to do it before prices go up, because before NFL, they're going to go up. We've got week 1 preseason getting ready to come out on Thursday. We've got the PGA Championship coming out. I probably won't do any videos tomorrow because I'm going to be at the PGA, walking the grounds, giving our boys support, and surveying the land for our DFS Army guys that are going to get on that golf tournament, the last major of the year, and are going to smoke this thing. Be a VIP. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me out on Twitter at Chopadong. Click that link in the comments section. Use the coupon code CHOP because friends don't let friends pay retail. Come back and see me. We'll talk to you guys in a couple of days.